Hey, what's up, pals and gals? May the force be with you, and fuck Disney. So, here's the thing. In recent years, the Mandalorian culture has risen from being a subset or a niche in the Star Wars community that you have to be a Legends nerd to truly appreciate, to now it's commonplace. Mandalorians are all over the place. I would say Mandalorians are the freaking poster child of the Disney Star Wars franchise more so than the Jedi are right now. And I think Disney's done some really cool things with Mandalorians. We have Bo-Katan. We have a lot of good Mandalorian characters. The Mandalorian is one that been some was the first Star Wars live action TV show ever. Man, Lucas never even got a Star Wars live action TV series, and even though he supposedly was working on one. And I'm really satisfied with The Mandalorian. I think it's been great. I mean, I grew up reading the Republic Commando books, the Mandalorian books, the Old Republic, playing the Old Republic, playing Knights of the Old Republic. And the Mandalorians were always like this really cool, badass, like freaking warrior nomadic culture that was like very Celtic, very nomadic, very mercenary based. You know, their scattered culture and diaspora. I stand by this. I said this in podcast once. The Mandalorians really remind me of the Jewish Judaism, and the fact that there's so many different sects and their culture and diaspora, and they're all like different ideologies and like philosophies, and they're just trying to survive in the galaxy. You know, they're mercenaries for hire, they're warriors, they're bounty hunters, they're mercenaries. And there's been numerous times throughout Legends they were this culture and diaspora making, and certain clans would serve as mercenaries, certain clans would be fighting other clans. And I think canon has captured a lot of that. I think Disney canon. I shouldn't say canon because Disney is not the only canon. Legends is his own canon. Disney has really captured. They've done a lot of good with the Mandalorians with like this nomadic culture and diaspora, the Mandalorian religion, the Mandalorian history is pretty good. I respect it as its own thing. I still prefer Legends over canon because Boba Fett becoming the Mandalore, leading the Mandalorians against the Yuuzhan Vong, and then there's the Second Galactic Civil War with the Mandalorians, where like the politics, the Mandalorian people, in a galaxy torn apart by numerous galactic factions fighting for supremacy. Yeah, the Mandalorians have always been a favorite of mine. I've always loved their culture. Their armor was always so fucking cool. How they could take Jedi on. Even the best Jedi warrior is challenged by like a group of Mandalorian commandos. And they've always fascinated me as a faction and a culture in Star Wars, not just for their war and their badass armor and their badass weapons and their space bounty hunter ways. They've just always been like this very like interesting concept of the Star Wars fiction. They're always somehow involved in galactic conflicts. Either they side with the Jedi, or they side with the Sith, or some factions will side with the Sith and they'll side with the Jedi. You know, it's all good stuff, you know. And I think canon has done like Disney canon has made a new version of that, which I like, you know. And going forward with the franchise, I think Mandalorians are what's keeping Star Wars alive right now. The obsession of the Mandalorians, the obsession with this is the way, following the adventures of Din Djarin and his adopted baby Yoda child. It's so fucking adorable. But no, seeing the adventures of the Mandalorians, seeing how we're exploring their culture, their religion, their mythos, and their sense of identity. I really like Mandalorian season 3 because it really focused on a lot of the Mandalorians and reuniting as a people, the prophecies, their religion, their differing beliefs coming together to retake their homeworld from the Empire. I just thought it was really awesome, and I really have enjoyed Mandalorian, the Disney canon, but I still prefer Legends. I would love it if Boba Fett became the next Mandalore. I would fucking love it if he dueled the current Mandalore and became the new Mandalore. That'd be fucking epic. I would love that. Please, Disney, do that instead of making some SJW garbage about Rey being inseminated by Ben Solo's Force Ghost and giving birth to twins. Please, God, don't let that happen. Please, for the love of God, don't let that happen. But no, I mean, Mandalorians are the new center of the stars of the Star Wars cinematic universe right now, and going forward, I really like their conflicts with the Empire, and I really like how Season 3 displayed Mandalorian politics, and how Mandalorians are like this scattered people, and they've been reunited, and they make the Empire afraid. I really like how the Mandalorian has connected plot lines from Rebels, and how the Mandalorians, how you thought they won at the end of Rebels, but in reality they got fucking space nuked into space diaspora. Man, the Galactic Empire is really, yeah, they made the Mandalorians into a scattered people. And it's really like how I like seeing them in the Mandalorian. They've been described as a scattered people, wandering clans who have been reunited. And going forward in the galactic politics and wars of the Disney canon, I can see the Mandalorians rising as an ally to the New Republic. And maybe, since the New Republic probably won't have much of a military, the Mandalorians can do most of the front line fighting against Thrawn and his legions of undead stormtroopers / clone stormtroopers. That'd be awesome to see. I really like the geopolitics of Mandalorian Season 3, the galactic politics of Season 3, and how Mandalorians and the Empire have been butting heads and the Imperial remnants have been at war with the Mandalorians. It makes sense within the canon. It's been this great conflict that we've seen develop over the past couple seasons, and we really see Mandalorians slaughtering a shit ton of stormtroopers in a really badass way that would make Legends blush, because I think Legends didn't do enough of Mandalorians versus the Empire. I mean, I love Luke Skywalker in the Shadows of Mindor. I really do. I really fucking do. How like the Mandalorians like slaughtered hordes of Shadow Stormtroopers on a volcanic planet while helping New Republic Marines. Please, Disney, give us actual New Republic ground forces that can fight and kick ass. Show us New Republic Special Forces on your TV shows. Please do this. I'm tired of this cheap fucking security rent-a-cop New Republic troopers, quotation marks, that you've been showing us. Show us some badass New Republic commandos that look like New Republic Marines, like from Legends. Please give us that, Disney. Please give us New Republic Marines or New Republic Special Forces like from Legends. Please, I want to see all that cool stuff. But no, the Mandalorians going forward, they're a culture. I'd like to see them, how they will interact in the Galactic Civil War Part 2 between the New Republic and the Imperial remnants. I really want to see how if the Mandalorians will ally with the New Republic, like how they'll find like a common enemy in the form of Thrawn. I'm really looking. The next movie, I have mixed feelings about the new Mandalorian movie. I've heard some bad reports, but I don't trust most Star Wars YouTubers anymore because they're idiots. But yeah, I like where the Mandalorians are going, and they're uniting as a culture. They're under the command of Bo-Katan. They're a united people once more. And to see them rebuild a military, maybe go on one final Mandalorian crusade against the Galactic Empire, maybe see them going up against Dark Jedi, it'd all be interesting. I'd really like to see it. Something I'd also really like to see is like return to like, if we go with this Old Republic timeline, if we go back to SWTOR, if SWTOR is ever made canon, please God let it be canon. But it probably won't be. But it exists in its own thing, and I'm fine with the way SWTOR is right now. I love SWTOR. But if we see Old Republic or even High Republic depictions of Mandalorians, I'd like it to be very similar to the Legends. Okay, I'd like to see Mandalorians in the High Republic era is like maybe see like conflicts between the Mandalorians and the Old Republic. Like see like conflicts between Jedi Knights going up against Mandalorian bounty hunters. Like maybe bring back a lot of that lore we got with the Mandalorian Civil War and the Jango Fett comics from like the early 2000s. That'd be awesome. Like seeing a High Republic depiction of the Mandalorians as like the space Viking and Nordic raiders upon Old Republic shipping lanes. Like the High Republic would be an interesting time to see the Mandalorians in the aftermath of their first genocide attempt by the reigning galactic civilization, and how they're rebuilding and how they're in exile. Once again, Mandalorians are always in exile. Man, why does that happen to you guys so much? Does the gods of the Star Wars canon really hate you guys that much? Fuck. But no, I really want to see a more focus on like Mandalorians in the Old Republic era, the High Republic era. I really do want to see that. Maybe see some video games based around Mandalorians. And if you're if you're a Star Wars DM and you're running a Star Wars role playing game, and you want to base it in the Disney canon, which no reason why you shouldn't, but I will still judge. But if you want to see if you want to do a Mandalorian based in the Disney canon or a hybrid of Legends and canon, make the Mandalorians in the Republic era as bounty hunters and mercenaries, and how they're waging war, how they're trying to reclaim their cultural identity. There's like a lot of ways you could roleplay as a bounty hunter, and how the Galactic Society views you as a outcast or a dying people. Really roleplay is like really, I would advise Star Wars DMs to lean into the diaspora of Mandalore, really get in touch with like old Republic lore of like Mandalorian conflicts and like between the Jedi and the Sith. Really lean in with the clan names. Really lean in with like the Republic Commando theme song. That's just such a metal song. Really play into I'm a Mandalorian. I'm a survivor. Maybe my dad was a clone commando who went Mandalorian during the reign of the Empire. Maybe really lean in with like I'm an adopted parent. My father was a Mandalorian and I was adopted as a foundling. You know, because the Mandalorians have a highly based emphasis, more so on war. The thing the Mandalorians about more than war, it's family, and that's something I fucking love about Mandalorians, both Legends and canon. Just the sense of family and like most of the times a Mandalorian would have like couple would have like 75 grandkids that weren't even theirs biologically. They were just like descent, like the children of their children of various war orphans they adopted into their clan. Mandalorians are the most egalitarian society I've ever seen in Star Wars. They're such a nomadic, egalitarian, fucking loving, accepting society, as long as you're not a piece of shit and you care more about the culture. War is just a fun pastime that earns you like sexual bonage points amongst Mandalorian women. What really sells you as a Mandalore though is your ability to be a father slash parent slash mother, and your ability to raise kids and be a good parent and be a good partner. And that's what I love about Mandalorians. That's something else you can lean into if you're going to be a Mandalorian role playing. You can be like an adoptive father, how you interact with other members of your clan, how you interact with war orphans or kids you find on the streets in Nar Shaddaa, or kids who've been orphaned in the Coruscant Civil War between the Empire and the New Republic. You know, all things to consider. But all in all, Mandalorians are a really cool faction to roleplay as in Star Wars role-playing games. I highly wish there's more material on them in like the existing like canon, Disney canon material. Maybe go back to Legends, read Wikipedia. Mandalorians are nomadic people. They have a lot to offer. It's like this culture and diaspora, and a culture that has survived no matter how many genocide attempts by every galactic civilization and the Jedi and the Sith put together. You know what? They keep on fucking going. And that's where I'll be in today's video. Until next time, folks, stay sane, and may the Force be with you. And fuck Kathleen Kennedy.